Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Empire Season 5, Episode 4, and the name of this episode is Love All, Trust a Few. Welcome back to KRS TV, and let me begin with this review. Okay, we see in the beginning of the episode, Lucius and Cookie go to pick up Andre. And Cookie tells Lucius, you need to promise me that my baby will never end up back up in this place again. But we see as soon as Andre comes home, Andre is ready to do the most grimy, the most thuggish type of thing that he can get his hands on, because since he's been in jail, the last time we saw in the last episode when he had sat down with Lucius, he told Lucius that here it is, I've always had, the book smarts, but now being in prison, I now have street smarts, and now I'm gonna be ruthless out here, total annihilation. We literally saw that immediately after Andre came out, because we see that in Lucius' office, he actually has this book, of all the people that owe him money. And then all of a sudden, Andre's like, oh, so you're looking in the book, huh? And Lucius like, what the hell you know about the book? And Andre tells him, I remember I used to sneak in, when I was a kid and go through the book, and I would see all the people, you would give them nicknames and the amount that you owe them and all of that. Why don't you let me go with you, Pop? And he was like, no, I can handle this by myself. I don't need you coming with him. He's like, but Pop, I can be your backup. You need backup. You need to let people know out here that you're not soft and pushover. And Lucius was like, I said I can handle it. Stay your ass here and calm down. We actually see when he goes to meet up this guy named Ronnie, who runs this boxing ring. He goes there, and Andre done beat him to the spot. Like, Andre is ready to do some ruthless shit. So, Andre done beat him there. They go talk to the guy, and the guy, Ronnie, gives him the song dance that, I ain't got the money right now. I ain't really had that many prize fighters and stuff. But then Andre did his research. Andre was like, well, it's funny because just in the past 6 months, you had like three, you had like 3 fighters who won championships. So Andre's clocking, there was some money that was coming in, so why can't you give Lucius his? And he was saying that, well, hey, there's, for one winner, there's like, there's for one that makes it, it's like to 5 that don't make it and all of that. So he gives him a song and dance, and Lucius was like, okay, well, we'll come back another time or whatever, And then once they get outside, Lucius goes off on Andre like, what do you think you doing? I told you to stay your ass back. I told you I had this. And Andre tells him, no, Pop, if you had it, you would have been walking out with money. You walked out of there with no money, just like you did inside. And besides, the fact that I clocked that, I know there's money there. And if you would have let me handle it, we would have been walking out with money. And I have to admit, I have to agree, because Andre's ready. And then he said that because the fact that you didn't walk out with the money, he's probably going to spread it all around town that you broke, and that, you up in here trying to, and that you're hitting up everybody trying to get money because you don't have anything. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened, because they go meet up another guy who they're trying to shake down for money. And dude has one of his boys there, like this big guy, and he was feeling himself and was talking big shit and was like, I remember back in the day, Lucius, when you used to take money from me, I would nearly be peeing in my pants. But the Lucius now, you're broke, you're a joke, and I ain't giving you nothing. And then Andre's like, excuse me? He's like, what you gonna do, NBA? I was like, ooh. All of a sudden, that ticked something in Andre, because Andre pulled out a gun and just blasted his ass in his leg. And he's all, I was rolling. He was like, where the damn money at? Where the safe? And he tells him where the safe is, and when they open the safe, it's only $2,000. He's like, that's all I got right now. He's like, I'm coming back for the rest of my money. And I was rolling. I'm like, Andre was right. Like, you're gonna have to get ruthless with these cats, because right now you're looking like a joke. So you need to show people that you need to show motherfuckers who's boss. And that's exactly where Andre was at. Like, look, you need me with you, because Andre is ready to do some street shit. Like, he was excited. Like, ooh, who I'm gonna fuck up next year? Because we know from the last episode, he had one of the biggest bullies in the prison stab the fuck up. So Andre ready to get some more bodies. Another thing that happened in this episode is that messy ass Kingsley. We saw from the last episode he goes to meet Diana. Him and Diana have a conversation, and Kingsley's talking big shit, talking about some, well, this whole thing about Lucius being a genius and that Cookie having this musical ear, it's all a lie. They use this as a way to build their company, but they're not what they say they are, and I'm going to expose them, and I want to tear them down. And Ms. Diana Dubois, being the sharp ice queen that she is, because that bitch is evil, she pretty much sits back and she was like, oh no, honey. What happened is that Lucius, when you had that event and he exposed you, and then, told everybody that he was building his own company and that he wanted to take people from Empire to go with him, that was a reminder, or better yet, that was some PTSD to when you were in high school and you were picked on by bullies, and then when you were also made a fool of when you were in college before you became this tech guy. This whole thing that you're doing with Lucius is about your ego. That's what it is. Because she knows that the Lions are talented and that story is true. Dude, you was just trying to sell something to Diana, and Diana just called you on your bullshit, and he just looked all simple. But she's like, I'm going to help you though, but I need you to do something for me. There's this special moisturizer. It has stem cells, and it's very smooth. And he was like, you're gonna do something for me if I get you some moisturizer for your crow's feet? And she was like, honey, a lady always has to maintain her appearance. So here it is, she wants to get some moisturizer while she's serving that long sentence in prison. But she's still making moves. So I was like, wow. But the little thing that that Kingsley doesn't understand is that you're playing with the devil, and trust me, the devil's always playing a different game than you're playing. And I'm definitely going to get back to that, because later on she gets another visitor. So we see we get a scene after that with Cookie and Portia. Cookie's trying to look for a big artist that's going to be somewhat the first breakout artist for Lions Family Management. We see that Portia then hired her people from around the way as interns to help them go through all of this, to go through all of the mail and handle the business, the daily business activities at hand. And Cookie's like, where the hell you got all these damn people from? Like, they better not steal my stuff. And Portia's like, they ain't gonna steal nothing, girl. She said, this person right here, he go to my church. And this person, he grew up with my cousin. And I'm just like, Portia is so ghetto, but I love her, just over the top. So, but Cookie's saying that, look, I need a fresh artist to get on this label. We need a break. And they go on Instagram, and it's this girl who's rapping, and then and Cookie called her Cardi B minus. I ain't got time for that, but But the girl, Portia told her that the girl's got over 200,000 hits, and she says, "I don't care about that. I want quality. I want a voice that can stand the test of time." And then all of a sudden, we hear this background voice, of this guy who we later find out is Devon. He's singing backup, and that is what caught Cookie's ear. And she's like, and she tells Portia, "Find that boy. I'm going to sign him and make him a star. That boy got a beautiful voice. That's exactly what I need." And we see that Portia goes to find the boy. He's his name is Devon, and he works in a junkyard, and he's played by none other than the incomparable Mario. And I'm a huge fan of Mario. Love his voice, love his personality, love his charisma. Mario's the shit. So, and I'm glad to see him, on Empire. So we see that he's the one that's so they go to meet Devon, and Cookie lets him know that she wants to sign him, and that she thinks his voice is amazing, and that she wants to make him a star. So of course he's excited. He was like, "Wow, this is amazing. I got blessed twice in one day." And Cookie's like, "Twice? What you mean?" And then soon as she asks that, we see Becky's old snickering ass walk up with some shades on, like, "Hi, Cookie." I'm like, "Oh, you is trying it." Kingsley done filled your head up. And the funny thing about it, Cookie and Becky were kind of going back and forth, taking their little jabs. But Cookie asks Devon, "Okay, you can go see what they're about, but I'm going to let you know, you'll just be trading one junkyard for another one because they don't value their artists, and I want you to go over there and see what they're about, but promise me you won't sign anything until after you get to see what Lions Family Management has to offer you. So I ask that you just, don't be so quick to sign with Empire. Let me show you what we have to offer as well." And he agrees. And it really baffled me because I'm like, how the fuck did Becky know about Devon? Because Devon was singing in the background. But then it finally dawned on me, Kingsley is basing the business off of algorithms, based off the hits and the social media climate. That's where he's judging his audience, the talent, and all of that. So he's literally taken the actual connection of human beings and he's just made it about social media and technology, and he's using that to run the business. Because we even saw from the episode when Lucius outed him in that meeting, in that event, that he don't give a damn about the artists. He sees them as spoiled children, and that they're just the bottom line, and they're just there to make us money. So that explains how they were able to find Devon, because Devon was on this girl who was getting all of these hits. So obviously, because he's getting a lot of hits, it brought attention to them, and that's how they found out about him. So we see that Devon actually, goes to Empire. But before that, I want to talk about Kingsley and Giselle. So Giselle and Kingsley have a moment, and she's saying that she wants to stay on as COO. But Kingsley's like, "I don't know if this is going to be a good idea. I still think you have, I still think you have it out for me because I took your job." And she was like, "Look, okay, you got the job fair and square, and yeah, I know that you and Kelly are like tech buddies, so that's how you end up getting one over me. It is what it is. But I'm over that now, and I really want to help you to build this business, and I definitely have a quality that you need, so let me work beside you." And he was like, "Well, I don't know about that, because it seems to me that you're still bitter and all that." But then she begins to sell him like, "Look, if you don't want me to scream Me Too up in this bitch, you'll work with me." And he was like, "Okay, fine." So I was like, she worked his ass. So we see that they when Devon comes to Empire, we see that Kingsley is selling him on this shit. You know, he shows him his tech team. Yeah, like, see, this is how we found you. This is how we find, you know, not only, you know, our artists, but we also find the people that follow you. So we, you know, checked out everybody that was following you. We found out their tastes and their likes and all of that, because algorithms is also, it's also used here on YouTube. You know, for all of us fellow YouTubers, y'all know how it's done. Like, usually something that you like and that you click on the most, those are the ones they refer you to once you get back into your account. So it's like keeping track. So he pretty much says that based off of the people that are following you, you know, we need to make you, you know, we need to make you like, you know, like a Don Juan, you know, with the abs and the muscles and the chest and the good voice and the good looks. You know, this is what your fans want. They want sexy, but also R&B. And then like Devon was like, I don't know whether you want me to be a singer or a stripper. I don't know how I feel about that. So Kingsley was kind of losing it, but then Giselle comes out. Luther, Marvin, Teddy, D'Angelo. These are the heads of the R&B Mount Rushmore, and they are only known by one name. Think of it again: Marvin, Luther, Teddy, D'Angelo, Devon. I was like, wow. So I'm like, y'all, that was sweet, because then they show, like, you know, his image come out where he's just known as Devon, and you know, it really started to intrigue him. He was like, this is somewhat interesting. But it's like, it just goes to show you how some of these corporations, you know, trap you in. Because once you sign on that dotted line, you belong to them. But they are literally doing this, you know, this shuffle dance for him, making him, you know, pretty much using imagery and all of that to get him to sign with them. And it's because at the end of the day, they don't really have much to offer. But then again, that's pretty much that's one of the tricks of the industry. You know, get people, wine and dine them, make them, you know, believe the hype, and then get them while they're vulnerable. So we see that going on. Next, I'm going to talk about Jamal, and I'm just going to wrap Jamal up in one swoop. Jamal is, you know, really worried about Kai, because Kai has not checked in, and we see that, you know, Jamal is just very shaken up. And then we get a flashback to 2 years prior, because, you know, remember, him and Kai have been together for 2 years. You know, this is like 2 years later since the last season. So we see that 2 years ago, while he was in London, Jamal was at a bar, and the bartender roofied him. And Kai saw it and actually stopped him from drinking the soda. But some of it did get into his system, so he started to pass out. And he said that they probably drugged you because they wanted to shame Lucius and the Lion family. So even though he went to London, he didn't escape anything. He was about to get put into some shit, but Kai was able to be right there with him, and he kind of got him, you know, I think what he did is that he got him a hotel room and, you know, let him sleep it off and everything. So next thing you know, he when he gets up the next day, he looks at the tabloids and sees a picture of him and Kai on the cover together. But then he also remembered, you know, in their conversation, that Kai had told him that he worked with the paparazzi and that he was a journalist. So he finds Kai, and him and Kai go back and forth, and he was like, you know, so what it is, you just trying to, you know, use me to get, you know, to sell papers? Is that what you was trying to do? You was trying to set me up? And he was like, first of all, I'm a real journalist, and the fact that I was on the cover with you being this drugged out pop star, that doesn't look good for a real journalist like me. So you do the math. So I was like, oh, yo, Kai was definitely, aggressive, and we know that Jamal liked that aggressive shit. So he was like, yo, you want to go out to dinner? He's like, I don't know about that. He was like, yo, we should just kick it. And he's like, well, I'll let you know. So, but they ended up going out to dinner together, and he was asking questions about Kai. He had like this, I think it was like a tattoo or something like that, and pretty much he was saying that the tattoo means to, always be truthful. And he's like, well, what inspired that? And he was like, too soon for that story. So, he's not really fully, he's not fully telling Jamal everything, but then he's also sharing some of his likes and dislikes. Like, he's told him about his favorite country, and Jamal showed his musical genius where he took, the country that he loves and literally created a beat out of it. Just genius. Like, I mean, something that was very reminiscent of Quincy Jones for me. Because I can imagine that's what Quincy would do. And he literally just took what he was talking about and literally made a beat out of it. He says, this is my way of speaking to people. And Kai was intrigued because he saw Jamal's genius. And next thing you know, they kissed and everything. And, Jamal was like, so you want to take this to the bedroom? He's like, oh, no, man, I got to get up early in the morning. I was like, oh, you turning them down, which is going to make Jamal want them more. So the next morning, like 6 a.m., Kai knocks on the door. And he was like, what's going on? He was like, look, I think I need to tell you the truth about me. The reason why I got the tattoo is because I fell in love with somebody who pretty much lied to me, and now I'm HIV positive. And that's why I didn't want to have sex with you, and I know it's a big stigma, and I wanted to be upfront with you about it. And Jamal was like, but we could have did this last night. You gonna wait till 6 a.m. in the morning? But then he says that, look, I'm negative, whatever that is. But then he also tells him that, yes, he's HIV positive, but he's undetectable. And Jamal tells him that, hey, it's all good. And he invites him in. He's like, yeah, you coming in, but we going back to sleep because it's too early. I'm like, whatever. Y'all. So we definitely saw that. And then we also saw Jamal was looking at the video that he sent him where him and the kids were singing You're So Beautiful, because he's over like in the sub-Saharan part of Africa. And no one's have gotten word from him. Even his boss said that he hasn't heard from him. So we see that he's like panicking, looking through his cabinets and stuff, and Becky's there, and she's like, what are you looking for? Like, is everything okay? And he actually pulls out a ring. He was gonna propose to Kai, before he left. And like, it just goes to show you that Jamal genuinely is in love with this man. And next thing you know, we see that Jamal is there with the family. Lucius said that because Jamal was going to pack a bag and was going to go to the sub-Saharan area and find him. And, Andre was like, you just can't go to another country without a plan and just think that you just gonna find something. You might end up getting yourself killed. You need to have a plan if you're going over there. And then Hakeem was like, I'm going with you. But they was like, no, we got this. We're talking to the State Department. They're on this. But as far as we heard, they found his wallet and his cell phone on the side of the road. So immediately Jamal broke down, and it nearly tore me up. I was like, poor baby. Finally he finds a good guy. Because far as what we've seen of Kai, because at first, I'm not going to lie, and when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. I was thinking that Kai was this bad dude, and then again, the jury's still out on it. We don't know what happened with Kai. But far as what I've seen of Kai really is a genuine person, and he really liked Jamal for him. and the same as, Jamal liking Kiefer himself. So it was messed up that, Jamal's going through this. So then we come to find out, as far as Giselle really she's working with a private investigator, and she's trying to find something on Kingsley to take him down. The private investigator tells her, look, he's clean, but one thing I will tell you is that he's been visiting some lady at the women's correction facility. Ding ding ding. So therefore Giselle's wondering, okay, what's that all about? So then we see that finally Cookie gets her chance to show Devon the Lions family management. And they go back and forth, and Devon's intrigued. He's definitely bonded with Cookie. And she was saying that, she says that, look, I know that in Empire they can give you all the backing, all the money, all of those things. But with us, you actually get to be yourself, because I want to know who you are, what makes you happy, what inspires you to sing. It's about the artist. And he said that he was intrigued, but he said that he doesn't want to sign until he talks to his sister first. So we see that Cookie makes a trip to go see his sister. Cookie comes to find out that he's living in a very low income area, and from the looks of the apartment, they're struggling hard. And then worse, his sister is on a walker because she was in an accident and she injured her hip, and they don't even have the money for her to get hip surgery because her Medicaid won't cover it. And then we see that she also says that Devon has been working 4 jobs to keep things going. And Cookie was gonna drop off the contract and said, have him look at this and sign it. She didn't even do that because at the moment she realizes that the Lions family management is still starting up. Even though they got money from those investors from that launch that they did, a lot of that money's dried up. So they really don't have a lot of money right now where they can promise somebody the world. So Cookie, being an honest person, which made me love Cookie even more, she reached out to Becky and she says that, look, sign him, get this guy, sign him, but make sure he gets that startup money because he's going to need it. So look after him and protect him. And Becky's like, I got you, Cookie. I'm going to do right by him. So she tells Lucius about it, and of course Lucius gets pissed off because he's like, why the hell would you do that? But then it was the right thing to do because they're about to eat breakfast. Juanita lets them know that they have a guest, and Cookie says send them in, and it's Devon. Devon comes to let them know that, yeah, he thought about signing with Empire, but he chose not to sign with them. He wants to sign with Lions Family Management because the way that you approached me, one, you asked about me and about how I felt, and it felt like family. And we see that Lucius pretty much tells him welcome to Lions Family Management, and the $2,000 that they took off the old boy, he puts in Devon's hands and says that we got you. That was a very touching moment. That nearly broke me down too, because I was like, wow. It does go to show that there are good people in this world, and that when people actually act off of goodness versus off of money, you actually find true wealth. And that was very awesome. Another thing that also happened as far as Hakeem's situation, we get a scene where Tiana and Blake are actually doing the song that Hakeem wrote. But Tiana doesn't know that Hakeem wrote it. But Tiana has wrote a hook to it. So they doing the thing and they vibing and everything. And you can kind of tell that Tiana has definitely grown like a liking to Blake. Like she wants to get with him. The question is, have they already been with each other, or yet, but you can definitely tell it's leading towards that if it hasn't already happened. But Blake was like, she was like, yeah, this song is good. I'm so glad to get this out. We need to record this. And Blake was like, nah, we don't need to record it. This should be something just between us. But she's like, look, but the song is great though. He's like, yeah, but I'm not trying to put that out there. But I'll tell you what, we can record it and keep it between the two of us. But it has to stay between me and you. And she says, okay, that's cool. But I have a good feeling that song's about to get out because we definitely seen the previews Blake and Hakeem get into it. So we're going to see what's going to lead to that. But I have a good feeling that probably her and Blake already, getting it in maybe. But we see that she's about to leave the studio and Hakeem shows up and she's like, Hakeem, what are you doing here? He's like, well, you do remember I used to work here, right? And he was saying that, I want to make it up to you. I know I've been kind of like going through my crap lately and I'm trying to make things right. So here it is. He, brings catered food to her and he's saying that, look, I really want to make it up to you and I really want to show how special you are to me. And he tries to kiss her and she's like, Hakeem, don't. And I'm like, since when you start rejecting Hakeem? Usually when Hakeem is trying to slide you to meet you ready. But now she's like, oh, stop. Stop, Hakeem. And then all of a sudden, he kind of looks into her. He kind of looks into her eyes, and she looks like she's about to go down on him. But then he was like, no. This night it's about you. And he's about to go down and taste her sugar walls. And here she goes. Ugh. I'm like, okay. But we definitely see there's going to be some issues there. So, let's see. Oh, yes. And then the episode, so then we actually see that Giselle goes to see Diana. And, Diana is not somebody you can tap dance around because Diana's a nice queen. She knows everything. She goes in there and she's like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about your husband, Eddie. She's like, yes, it really was a sad time. And she was like, girl, you could care less about your damn husband, not even, and especially after the fact that you've been screwing with Kingsley. And she's like, he told you about that? She's like, honey, he told me everything. And she was like, and she was like, oh, so that's what it is? He's now talking secrets and shit? She was like, you know what? Me and you are in the same situation. Me with Kingsley is just like what you went through with the Lions. We got blindsided and we got screwed over, and I really want to take back what's mine. And, and pretty much, Diana was like, ooh, the Lions. I think it's time for the Lions to know what it feels like to put one of their own in the ground. And then we get a clip of 5 months later, and we see that Lucius is bleeding, and he's kind of spiraling out of control, and he's like, what did I do? And I'm like, yeah, Lucius, what did you do? Who's in the casket? Again, so we're starting to work more towards that. To find out who was in the casket and what did Lucius do. Alright, so that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Empire. So until next time, everybody, take care.